Hello, my name is Richard Lowe, and I am a ghostwriter. And I became a ghostwriter because I'm passionate about writing and helping people. And believe it or not, the two go together perfectly. Why? Well, because writing, as a ghostwriter, what I do is I help people and I help them tell their stories. Stories is important because everybody has a story. It's a story of their life, for example, how they got to where they're going. You have an executive. How did he become an executive? What trials and tribulations did he go through? What kind of failures did he have? What kind of, how did that woman become CEO? What did she go through? How did that happen? All these things are stories. Or a celebrity. How did a celebrity get to be a celebrity? And what happened and what got in the way? These are all wonderful things. Even ordinary people who think they don't have stories, they all have stories. They've all gone through things. They've all um, experienced joy and love and hate and all the emotions in between. They've had failures and successes. I know that from my own life. So, my first ghostwriting project was when I was 17 years old. That was a long time ago. And everybody in the family said my grandfather was a curmudgeon-y, cranky old man. And I wanted to get to know him in spite of what the family said. So all I knew about him was he was a good cook and he was in World War II. So I decided that I was going to interview him and read through his journals and write a book. And after a few interviews and going through his journals, I ghost wrote his book about his experiences in World War II. He was captured on Corregidor by the Japanese. He was in the Bataan Death March. He was a POW in a Japanese World War II camp for 4 years. And you know what? If I'd been through what he'd been through, I'd be cranky and curmudgeon-y and pretty prickly also. And I got to understand him. And that's one of the important things about writing and about stories is it helps people understand each other. That's what I want to do. That's what I love to do is help people understand each other. But I got to tell you a little bit more about my journey. My wife passed away 17 years ago now. We were deeply in love, and she we were married for 12 years, and she was sick for 8 of those years. So she finally passed away. I felt incredible grief. I mean, just horrible, horrible grief. And I was also terribly introverted, both from before that and that whole experience really introverted me, of having to care for her and stuff. So I decided I wanted to get over that. So what I did is I took up photography. I started to photograph national parks and things like that. I managed to photograph all the national parks in the Southwest U.S. And then I ran into Renaissance fairs and I ran into the fair people. They are just wonderful people to hang around. They're kind of like circus people. They're like a tight family, and I became part of the family sort of. And I wound up photographing 300 different Renaissance fairs, planes all over the U.S. having a great time. But more importantly, I ran into belly dancers. Belly dancers in Renaissance fairs, if you've ever seen them, they're all conservatively dressed. They have the long outfits, flowing things, the color and all that in it. Kind of what I needed then. The motion and things kind of relaxed me. So I'd sit in the back with my telephoto lens taking pictures. And one day this lady, her name Marjani, we're still close friends, came up to me, but I didn't know her at the time. And she scared the heck out of me because she was all in, piercings and tattoos and things like that. And she came up, put her arms around me and said, "We really love you, Richard. We love you putting your pictures on the internet. We love what you do for us, but you need to come sit up closer because, when photographers sit in the back with telephoto lens, we kind of think they're a little off." So she brought me up front, and from then on, I was the go-to person for photographing belly dance shows, and I wound up photographing about 1,200 of them by the time I was finished. Every year we had a big party, and about 100 belly dancers would attend, and they'd come, and they'd basically all dance for me, and some of the Renaissance fair people would come, and it was great. It was great. But then one day, I wasn't introverted anymore, and I wasn't, well, not super introverted anyway, and I was over the grief. So there you go. So um, that was the end of that. And I'd like to finish up by saying that this is my passion. Ghostwriting is my passion. And I love to ghostwrite. I love to tell people stories. I love just being a part of people's lives, and I love helping them get their story out. And that's why I'm a ghostwriter, and that's what I want to do with the rest of my life, is help people tell their stories, stories that need to be told. And that's all I've got to say. Thank you for listening.